For Baltimore resident Gloria Johnson, getting drinking water for her family is an ordeal.
I'm not trusting the water. I'm not comfortable with using it. I'm not comfortable with them drinking it.
Every month, the mother of two buys bottled water and boils gallons from the tap for her family to drink, cook, and brush their teeth.
It's frustrating because we got to keep up with this every single day on a daily basis. We got to continue to tell our kids every day why it isn't healthy and why it is important to remember to use the clean water and not the faucet water.
That's because even though Baltimore's drinking water meets federal safety standards, according to the city's annual water quality reports, the water coming out of her tap is sometimes brown, which could be a sign iron is leaching from aging pipes, whether in her building or pipes under the street.
These are unacceptable conditions that we're seeing all across the country.
Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Michael Regan says Baltimore is one of countless communities across the U.S. grappling with aging water infrastructure as federal investment dwindled. Some experiencing water crises, like Flint, Michigan, Jackson, Mississippi, and rural West Virginia.
Why has the U.S. government not done more, invested more in water infrastructure across this country?
You know, there are a lot of needs in this country. Unfortunately, we have waited too long. And there are certain populations in this country, black and brown communities, tribal communities, low-income communities, that are seeing the worst aspects of this disinvestment.
Last year, Maryland received $144 million from the EPA as part of the bipartisan infrastructure law, which set aside about $50 billion for drinking and wastewater improvements. Administrator Regan says the money, seen as the largest federal investment in water infrastructure, is both historic and just the beginning. He says he also wants to make sure the money is used to help prevent other water crises.
Different cities have different challenges. Baltimore has its challenges. But, you know, Flint and Jackson and some of these other counties, they have different challenges. And so we want to tackle the problem in places like Baltimore so that they don't get too far down the road.
And it sounds like what you're saying is you want to invest in Baltimore as the EPA so that it doesn't become the next Jackson or Flint.
We have to. We do have to have proactive strategy to prevent cities from getting to that point.
In Baltimore, lack of investment has led to problems like sewer backups and skyrocketing water bills because utilities put repair costs on consumers.
I'm here near one of Baltimore's 3 water filtration plants, which helps the city serve some 1.8 million customers. It's from critical sites like this that Baltimore residents receive their tap water.
The city's annual water quality reports show that when water leaves filtration plants like this, it's considered safe to drink. But last September, routine testing discovered E. coli in the drinking water at 3 locations in West Baltimore, a predominantly black area, leading to a boil water advisory. In a hearing, the Department of Public Works said infrastructure failures were to blame.
It was a result of aging infrastructure.
But Matthew Garbarg, who oversees Baltimore's major infrastructure projects, says it's a multifaceted problem.
So are you saying what you're saying and what city officials saying are in line? They were sort of definitive in that hearing and saying aging infrastructure definitely contributed to it.
It is definitely something that is affecting our whole system. Whether that particular case was caused by the aging infrastructure, it's really hard to tell.
While Garbarg says he confidently drinks Baltimore tap water every day, he believes to make necessary improvements, the city would need hundreds of millions of more dollars.
How much do you need the federal government to be a partner in updating your aging infrastructure, or do you think you can do it on your own?
We need them desperately. We need to have our local, our state, and our federal partners all aligned on the mission.
We've also talked to some Baltimore residents who say when they open up their tap water, it's brown. What's your message to those people?
Yes, that is a very, very concerning thing to see. The brown is a concentration of the iron. It technically is perfectly safe to consume. It is not good looking, it's not attractive, and if you wash clothes with it, it will stain your clothes. So we understand that. Our message is call us. No one in our system should have to go out and buy bottled water.
Still, the $50 billion is not nearly enough. By the EPA's own estimates, the nation's drinking and wastewater infrastructure will require more than $744 billion over 20 years just to meet existing health and environmental standards.
The resources that we have from Bill are just a shot in the arm. There's a huge resource gap here.
A gap that people here are left trying to fill themselves. Stacey Beam says she refuses to believe the water coming from her faucet is safe. It's cloudy, sometimes brown, and even sandy. She works at the Food Project to cook and package meals to serve to the community and uses bottled water to prepare the food. And at home, Stacey says she spends $150 a month to buy bottled water while also paying the city water bill.
I'm getting nothing but dirty water most of the time, and my water bill is like $150 to $200 every month. It's sad. Our voices are not heard. Who mother wants to wake up in the morning and the water's brown?
I'm really struggling. We're crying out for help.
Help, the EPA says it's working to provide, and trust, it's working to rebuild.
I can understand the trepidation that people have all across this country because water systems have been failing our communities. It's time for government to step up, and that's what we're doing. We're going to step up and lean in with the state of Maryland and the city of Baltimore, and we understand that we have to rebuild our trust with that community.
As a mom, all I can do is be the best I can be. I try to stay on top of the things that are important for me and my kids, such as is drinking healthy, eating healthy, being healthy.
Yamiche Alcindor, NBC News, Baltimore.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.